Hi folks, welcome. It is the 1st of September. I'm out here in the kiln shed because I had a firing yesterday in my little kiln here. And I just thought I'd quickly show you the results. I'm going to give a shout out to my good friend Don Gilmore from the Iron Dinosaur Racing Team over in Pittsburgh. Don is a potter, friend of mine, but he also races at the Bonneville Salt Flats. And yeah, he gave me this t-shirt a while back, and that's what I'm wearing. Anyway, yes, unfortunately I never made it out there to the Bonneville Salt Flats. I was going to go. He invited me to come and be part of his pit team, but that particular year they didn't have any racing because the conditions weren't right. Yeah, so here's the small kiln. I've got actually the PDF of this kiln up on the website. I'm just tying a few loose ends together on the PDF, but it's up there anyway if anybody's interested. I'm just trying to wrap it up and get it so it's ready to email out. Okay, so if that interests you, go there, check it out, and if you would like to purchase it, I recommend this little kiln. I really do. We have here, and if any of these grab you, these particular ones, they're all almost all available. I mean, you know, they're sort of my regular tankards. Some in Celadon, some in this glaze, which is pretty handsome actually, come out quite well. We did have a couple of seconds, let's be honest, we did. And I think that was because I just got a little bit too hot, you know. Just got a little hotter than Let's have a look at the cone. Got the cones up here. These are all my little row of cones. I think we have 19 here. That was the cone. That is cone 10. As you can see, well over. Yeah, right on the very bottom down here, I just had a little bit of bloating on the bottom. I'll show you those quickly. These guys, which are actually, apart from that, are okay, except they've just got a very slight bit of bloating here on the bottom. You see that? So I think that was due to heat. You can get bloating because of that. Yeah, these are all. That one actually does have a very slight bloat on it there, but it's. Yeah, we might just have to reduce that, I guess. I think probably we'll just reduce that a touch, a couple bucks off or something. Yeah, if any of these, I'm going to be, well, I always have these tankards on my website. I've got to get a load of more stuff up on Etsy, as I keep saying, but I really am now. I think we've only got tankards up there at the minute. These guys, they came out quite nice. These are tea bowls. Quite good. Pleased with them. We had 3 like that. Another one here. Then we had these bud vases. Came out quite nice. yeah, I noticed. You'll notice here, just to show you this. You notice how the iron at the very top here, how it's bleeding down. In fact, there is, although you can't see it, there is a cobalt line just where my thumb is there, but you can't see it because the iron has melted. And you see here at the edge of the extremity of the leaf here, how the iron oxide is beginning to bleed down. That is an indication that it's getting a little too hot, which is what I told you earlier. So yeah, these are just a little on the hot side. These are actually placed right down at the bottom of the kiln, right down at the bottom on either side, right down there on the floor. They were right down on the floor on either side, but they came up. They're okay. I'm not saying that they're not. That's a nice little bud vase. It came out nice. So what I do these days is I do a fast cool. I don't close the chimney here after the firing has completed. I just let cold air go through it. That's a nice little number, isn't it, eh? Might even keep that one. Not for sale. Unless someone's really desperate. You know what? Sometimes I think when pots come out really nice, well, you sell them for the appropriate price, don't you? If you get a 1 in 50 kind of pot that comes out exceptionally well, you don't just sell it for the same price as as all the others. You want to mark it up in price, you know. At least that's how I think. Maybe you have a different. This is it's actually a new design. I've never done that before. It's supposed to be a dragonfly. I think it is a dragonfly. Yeah. That all came about because I had an order to do for somebody, which I'll show you in a second. Which they wanted a dragonfly, so I had to do a dragonfly, and that got me thinking. This is this is Temuku fluted. It's just a simple cylinder, but I happen to flute it, and so yeah, just a cylinder vase. I've had a bit of bad luck with my Temuku, you know. I had a Temuku that really worked well, and then for some reason it just went bad in the bucket. I don't know what's come of it. And then I had the notion to just increase the iron oxide, the synthetic iron oxide, a touch, and put it, instead of through an 80 mesh sieve, put it through a 100 mesh. So I did that. Seems to be back now. I don't know what. That is just a simple mustard pot, I think you'd probably call it. Fluted. That's Temuku working quite nicely. I did, you know, because it's fluted, before I put it in the kiln, I just very lightly rubbed it, if you know what I mean, over the flutes, sort of make the glaze powdery by just slightly rubbing your fingers over it, and that has caused the flutes to highlight the flutes. You see, hole for a spoon. That's quite nice. Pleased with that. I think you saw me making these caddies. I did these the other day. Again, this is a spontaneous design on the lid there. quite nice with a bit of spatter, you know, to just give it some interest, some iron oxide and cobalt spatter off the end of my brush. It came out quite nice, pleased with that. Pleased with that, yeah. Yeah, if there's any of these grab you, grab the timestamp. Here's the order that I did. This is the order for Meg downtown. This was a butter dish, which I think you saw me make this, or I think you saw me handle it actually and put the lugs on in one of the videos. And this is the one that had a special request for a dragonfly. So that's where I started doing those dragonflies. It's banded there, you see, decoratively, just on the top there, on the inside of the decoration. And that's a butter dish. But you know, you could make that style, couldn't you? Bigger, and make it a bigger casserole. Just blown over with wood ash from my fireplace. Okay. So there is that. Came out well, pleased with that. I hope she'll be pleased with it. Yes, oh yeah, and those were the two that were seconds. Let's just look at the graph. The kiln graph here. Refer to my notes. What did I say? Comments, good melt, a touch hot. Reduction good, 90%. I just give a percentage on the amount of reduction. Just one or two pots, so just very slightly, perhaps not as good a reduction as I would have liked. Good oxides, though, basically dragonfly success. A little boating on bottom of a couple of tankers on the bottom, on their bottoms. Temaku working. Good butter dish for Meg. Yeah, it was a little bit of a long firing, I have to say. At least longer than the one before. The one before was at least an hour shorter. I don't know how this one it ended up to be as long as it was, but we finished at 2300 on the pyro. Of course, that's not the actual temperature, that's just what the pyro is reading. And we started reduction at 2000. So yeah, what time did we start reduction? We started I think we started about 10:15 at night. So 10:15. In fact, I said we finished at 12. I'll be honest, I wasn't exactly sure if it was 12 or not, but it was round about there. It was round about there. So a good couple of hours of reduction at the last part of the firing, taking it up to 23. So yeah, all I would say it was a good firing. Definitely a good firing. Okay, we had a couple of seconds, but you know, maybe I wasn't paying attention as much as I should have been to the firing yesterday, and maybe that was the cause. Sometimes it's late at night and I'm thinking, sometimes you see when the cone, this is just a point to bear in mind, when you've got the cone inside, and I have the cone down here, there, but of course when the cone falls, as I'm looking through the spy hole here, as the cone falls out of view, sometimes I can't quite see it properly, and I do a little bit of guesswork, you know. That's not always the best idea to do when you're a bit tired, is it? Bit of guesswork, no. It's not ideal. Oh well, we live and learn. Well, it's cloudy here today. Maybe it's the tail end of that hurricane. A bit cloudy up there, and quite cool today. Okay folks, that's it. Thanks for joining us. Yes, Kiln PDF, it's up there. and Leach treadle wheels. If you're interested, write to me, simonleachpottery@gmail.com. What else? Zoom, if you're interested in a one-on-one Zoom class, or if you are part of a group, we can do a group rate, which is cheaper. And yeah, workshops in September and October are going ahead. Okay folks, keep practicing. I'll see you around town. Bye for now.